Now we're going to take a look at how to call in a design, center the hat, and trace it to make sure the design fits. So to call in the design, we go to the EMB call button. We're getting this design from our floppy disk. It's reading all the designs. We find the design that we're looking for. We put it into a memory location. The design is converted and is now in the memory of the machine. We back out of that menu. Now, when it comes up basic settings, needle settings, I'm going to go into the basic settings just to make sure the angle came up at 180 degrees, which is the correct orientation of this design to sew on a hat. And in fact, this is showing a 180 degree angle. Come out of that, go into my needle settings, set my colors. That was a 7-color design. Lock in the color values. And my design is in. Now I want to go to the number 1 needle position because we always like to trace off the number 1 needle. So I press number 2, press number 1. Now to center the hat, left to right, I like to make sure I center the needle right on the seam. So I'm going to take the presser foot and I'm going to lock it down, and using the pantograph adjustment controls, I want that needle to be lined up right on the center seam. As far as front to back is concerned, I like to fold the hat right on the front edge of the driver and simply find the center point from the band to the front edge of the driver. We are now ready to trace. Before I do that, I want to kick that presser foot up because we would never trace with that presser foot in a lockdown position the first time. So I simply press number 2, then go back to needle position number 1, fix my thread, and we are now ready to trace. As we perform the trace, you really want to watch it from the side of the hat. Very rarely do you have a problem with a design being too wide. Normally you have a problem with a design being either too high on the hat or too low on the hat. As far as being too low, we can't come within approximately 1/4 inch of the band down at the bottom of the hat. At the top of the hat, you want to make sure the hat does not start getting pushed out, which is what we refer to as flagging. So we're going to go into the subwork function, go down to our optimized trace, and trace the design. At this point in time, we're also looking for the exact placement, not only just to make sure it's going to fit. And that design looks very good. If you wanted to see what flagging looks like, flagging is nothing more than having the hat get pushed out in the front just like this as it's doing a trace. You can see the front edge of that hat keeps getting pushed out. What happens is that distorts the sewing field, thus creating missed registrations and poor sew out quality. After completing the trace, we know the design is going to fit and it's located properly on the hat. We're now ready to sew. We're going to set our speed at approximately 650 stitches per minute and then press start.